Alright, so we're talking about the Leafs today. I was going to talk about the Islanders. I meant to talk about them yesterday, but to be quite honest, what's there to talk about? They fired Patrick Waugh and brought in Pete DeBoer, which I could go on a rant about him. I've seen him in Dallas. I've seen him in San Jose. I've seen him in Vegas. Islanders, they're not going anywhere near the Stanley Cup final. The most he'll get you is the conference final. That's about it. But he will not get you to the cup final. He's only been to the cup final twice. Both of them ended up in losses. So there's really not much to say about that. But let's talk about the Leafs. So as you guys know, I made a video about them earlier. Like really earlier. They're eliminated. Much like the Florida Panthers. Except, unlike the Panthers, this one's different because they could have had a first round pick, but because they traded their first round pick to Boston for Brandon Carlo, they might not get it because, well, for one, it's top 5 protected. They're not into the Leafs are not in the bottom 5. They should have just tanked. Rather than just continue, go on a winning streak after Matthews got injured, they should have just continued to lose. By continuing to lose, they could have dropped lower and possibly would have gotten first overall. They would have been able to draft Gavin McKenna because he was protected. It's top 5 protected. If they get the 6th or 7th overall pick, it's going to the Bruins who are in the playoffs right now. The Leafs have a lot of things to do. They do, 100%. I have my notes. I'm going to read them because now that the Leafs are out of the playoffs, I wanted to talk about their past 9 seasons. They've made the playoffs for 9 seasons. 9 seasons in a row, consecutive. They have lost 8 times in Game 7. They're 0-8 in winner-take-all games. They have 28 wins and 39 losses. I did my own research on that. Like I said, they're 0-8 if you count the play-in. If you count the 2020 play-ins against Columbus, then it's 0-8. When it comes to Game 7s, they're 0-7. Funny. As I mentioned, yet to win a winner-take-all game, Game 7 or even Game 5 in 2020's case. They started their playoff run during the 2016-17 season. They were a young team at the time, a very young team. And they lost in 6, and then after that loss, it was just losing 7, losing 7, losing 7, losing 5, losing 7, losing 7. They've made it to the second round twice. Only twice. Once against Tampa, and this was 2023. The next year, they went back to their old ways and losing 7 to Boston. And then in 2024, actually no, not 2024, 2025, last year, they won in 6 against the Ottawa Senators in the first round, and then lost in 7 to the Florida Panthers. Granted, Leaf fans say that if Anthony Stolarz was in, it would have been a different series. Keep dreaming. I saw on Instagram there was a commenter saying that the Leafs deserve to be in the playoffs. The Habs don't deserve it. The Leafs do. By being one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference and the last place team in the Atlantic, yeah, you deserve it, right? They don't deserve it. Honestly, they don't. Now, what's next for them? I say strip Austin Matthews of the C. Let him get his mojo back. This season, this and last season, were not that good for him. Especially this season. This season was not good at all for Austin Matthews as the captain. Granted, the team didn't do shit when he got injured by Radko Gudas. I mentioned that in a previous video. But everyone just stood there. No one defended him. No one defended Austin Matthews. So, what happens? He might walk. I say strip him of the C, give him the A again. Don't go with a captain. At all. Don't go with a captain. Just go with all A's. Let Matthews get his mojo back. Because he's a good player. A very good player. He's just been having some bad luck. It's the pressure. As I mentioned in my previous video about the Leafs, it seems like he cannot handle the pressure of being a captain of an original 16. It's looking evident. They might have to let Craig Berube go. Honestly, his message has fallen stale. They, again, have yet to win a Game 7, and this is his worst year as a coach. Like, Berube won the Stanley Cup with the St. Louis Blues in 2019. And can't win anything with the Leafs. Granted, he took them to the second round just to get smacked around by the Florida Panthers last year and him calling the fans the noise. Yeah, you don't want to be referred to that, and I don't think the fans want him back. You got rid of Brett Living. You gotta get rid of Berube. Try to sign players as much as you can. You've already wasted all your money on Matthews, Nylander, and Tavares. You guys got rid of Marner. You let him walk last year. But they might have to move away from that. They might have to get rid of Nylander. Get rid of Tavares. If you're gonna keep Matthews, you gotta get rid of one of them. Something's not working. Do I think this is a one-off? No. I think their reign of terror when it comes to being in the playoffs is over. But anything can happen next season. I'll bring up Montreal for a second. I'll bring up my team. I didn't think Montreal was going to make the playoffs this year. I thought we were going to be back at the bottom. Last year was a one-off. We're third in the Atlantic Division, and we've clinched, thanks to Minnesota, as I mentioned last night. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know what else they can do. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that they get a top 5 pick. So then they keep it, and they don't give it to frickin' Boston. They don't give it to a divisional rival, and then another original 16. But again, like, Leaf fans, you guys probably have PTSD over hearing the teams like Florida, Montreal, and Boston. I bring up Montreal, talking about this again. I bring up Montreal because they had a 3-1 series lead in the 2021 first round. lost twice in overtime after coming back. The Habs blew a lead. They blew a 2-0 lead and a 3-0 lead. The Leafs forced overtime, and both times Montreal won. Then they win in Game 7. I thought that broke the Leafs. I thought that would have broken Leaf fans right there. As if they weren't already broken by losing to a 42-year-old Zamboni driver the season before. Who works for them, by the way. Which I do have a signed puck from David Ayres. I mentioned that in a previous video as well. Then you had last year. The last two times that the Panthers faced the Leafs at home, they got stomped on. What was it, like 6-1? It was 6-1 for both games. They got dominated, and the boos reigned. Like I said, I don't know what's left to do. I brought up Marchand and Bobrovsky last night with Florida's video. I'm gonna say the same thing with Tanev, Carlo, and Morgan Riley. Even John Tavares, I'll bring him up too. They were all drafted like in the early 2010s. How much do they have left? How much do those guys have left in the tank? I don't know. All I know, they need a serious wake-up call. They need to mature up. Honestly, they do. Defend your captain is what they need to do. I don't think... Or here, just look at any other team. Look at Crosby. Crosby, captain of the Penguins. He gets taken down. Malkin comes in. Letang comes in. Getzel comes in when he was on the team. Ovechkin. Someone goes after Ovechkin. Ovechkin can handle himself. Dude's built like a brick shithouse. But Tom Wilson will come involved. Or John Carlson when he was on the team. Connor McDavid. Darnell Nurse will come in. Zach Kassian would come in when he was on the team. They'll come in to defend their captain. Montreal, Nick Suzuki, Arbor Jacki will get involved and go up, protect the captain. You know, Josh Anderson would have done it. And then you look at the Leafs. Matthews gets injured. Everyone's just standing there. It is safe to say that he might be walking away from the team, and I don't blame him. I honestly don't blame Auston Matthews. But hopefully you guys can bring him back. Hopefully he's healthy for the next season. But I do say strip him of the sea. Let him get his mojo back. And he'll probably play up to par. He'll probably get a 60-goal season the next year and win the Maurice Richard Trophy and the Hart. But who knows? Honestly, Leaf fans, let me know in the comments. What do you think should happen? Is this an end of an era for them where they don't make the playoffs anymore? Is it rebuilding time after they just finished a rebuild? Who knows? But anyways, let me know. Leaf fans, let me know in the comments. I feel bad for Steve Dangle. I mention him a lot. He's a big Leaf fan. He's been doing this for a lot of years. I feel bad for him. This is first time in a while we're not getting LFRs in the postseason. 4 games left. Then that's it. Then that's the end of LFR for him. But anyways, that's it for this one. This is Colin from Talking Puck signing out. Have a good one.